The hidden reason. Women obsess over cold, emotionally distant men. Let's begin. Dark, psychological, and controlled. You've probably noticed it. The guy who doesn't text back. The one who seems emotionally unavailable. The one who barely tries. He's the one she wants. Meanwhile, the guy who listens, compliments her, shows up early and stays late, gets ghosted. Why? It doesn't make sense, unless you understand what really drives female desire. Because what women say they want, and what actually pulls them in, are rarely the same thing. The truth is, women don't chase men who feel safe. They chase men who feel significant. Men who are calm, quiet, composed. Men who aren't cold, but are controlled. And that control, that distance, that silence, it's not rejection. It's weight. It's power. It's what draws her in. Because deep down, every woman is wired to seek a man whose attention must be earned, not given. And the colder you appear on the surface, the more she burns to feel your warmth. It starts with a look. You don't say much. You don't chase. You don't rush. And suddenly, she's leaning in. Not because of what you did, but because of what you didn't do. You didn't give her certainty. You didn't give her the outcome. You gave her silence. And in that silence, her mind begins to race. She wonders, why isn't he affected by me? Why is he so calm, so untouched? Does he not care? Or is he just that focused? And in that wondering, desire begins. Because what the female brain can't figure out, it can't forget. That's the power of distance. It creates space, and space creates tension. And tension is the foundation of attraction. Most men smother. You disappear. Most men explain. You observe. Most men chase. You wait. And because of that, you're the one she can't stop thinking about. The emotionally distant man isn't emotionless. He just doesn't give his emotions away for free. He's not cold. He's contained. And that containment, that quiet presence, it creates gravity. You see, when you speak less, your words matter more. When you show less, your attention becomes a reward. And when you reveal nothing, everything about you becomes a mystery. This is what women chase. Not noise, not drama, not availability, but silence wrapped in substance. Because mystery activates her imagination, and her imagination will always outrun your effort. If this is hitting different, subscribe and tap the bell. You're not going to want to miss what's next. Let's keep going. If you're ready to take control and stop chasing, subscribe and hit the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. The trick is in the tension, the push and pull. A woman doesn't want the man who is always there. She doesn't want the man who is always texting first, always showing up, always available. That man, he's predictable, and predictability kills attraction. What she craves is unpredictability. A man who isn't too easy to reach. A man who isn't always at her beck and call. A man who makes her wonder, is he thinking about me? Why didn't he reply? Why does he seem so calm? This unpredictability isn't a game, it's just control. When you make yourself unavailable at times, when you pull back just enough, you force her to step up. You force her to chase. And as she chases, she starts to invest. This is where power lies. Not in effort, but in distance. Not in seeking, but in being found. A woman needs to feel that she earned your attention. It's the difference between someone who is given attention and someone who is chosen. The man who is constantly available, constantly giving, constantly texting, he is easy. And when something is easy to get, it loses its value. But when you are the one who is in demand, when your time, your energy, your attention is valuable, she must work to earn it. And that, right there, is what makes her crave you. It's the absence that creates the desire. The moments when she doesn't know where you are or what you're doing. Those are the moments she starts imagining you. And in those imaginations, she's drawn to you more than ever. The emotionally distant man doesn't chase. He simply exists in his own world. And by doing so, he makes her world revolve around him. You see, most men get lost in the need for validation. They chase approval, constantly wondering if she's interested, if she's thinking about them. But the emotionally distant man, he's the one who isn't desperate for validation. He doesn't beg for her attention. He doesn't worry if she notices him or not. And that emotional independence, that control over his own desires, is what makes him irresistible. When you stop seeking approval, you stop chasing. And when you stop chasing, she starts. She starts wondering, why isn't he texting me back? Why is he so calm? Does he care about me? And in that wonder, she gets hooked. Because what she can't figure out, she'll obsess over. The key to emotional distance is knowing when to pull back, but also when to give just enough. A woman wants a man who shows enough to intrigue her, but doesn't overdo it. She craves the tension between wanting more and fearing she won't get it. That's the magic of emotional control. You give just enough to keep her on edge, but never so much that she becomes comfortable. Most men reveal their emotions too easily. They tell her how they feel, what they're thinking, and how much they like her. Too soon, too often. But the emotionally distant man knows how to hold his cards close. When you say less, she starts to wonder, what is he thinking? And that uncertainty builds desire. The man who holds back, who doesn't reveal everything about himself, becomes the enigma she can't stop trying to figure out. The emotionally distant man knows that he's not just trying to make her like him, he's trying to make her need him. He doesn't give her the full picture of who he is. He doesn't let her in too soon. He doesn't let her think she's in control of the situation. Instead, he remains composed, steady, unpredictable. And that unpredictability drives her insane. Every time she thinks she's got him figured out, he pulls away just enough to leave her wondering. Every time she thinks she's close, he becomes more distant, leaving her chasing after him. It's not about playing games. It's about being the man who is strong enough to never need her validation, but still makes her crave his attention. This, my friend, is what makes a woman obsess over you. Not your looks, not your money, not your charm, but your control, your emotional strength, your composure, your unpredictability. When you understand this dynamic, when you realize that emotional distance is not rejection but strength, everything shifts. You stop trying to impress her. You stop second-guessing your every move. You stop seeking her approval. Instead, you start living on your terms, knowing that the only validation you need is your own. And that's what makes her want you. Because a woman will never truly respect a man who is always seeking her validation. But the man who doesn't need her, he becomes the one she cannot get enough of. She'll chase him, not because he's playing hard to get, but because she can't shake the feeling that he's someone worth chasing. The man who doesn't fall for her games, but who leaves her wondering, does he want me? And when she starts to wonder, she starts to crave. Now you know the secret. The emotionally distant man isn't heartless. He's just powerful enough to never give his power away freely. He controls his emotions. He controls the space around him. And he controls her perception of him. Because when you stop chasing, you stop needing. And when you stop needing, you become the man she can't forget. She'll obsess over you, not because you played her game, but because you created a new one. A game where you don't need to impress her. You just need to be yourself, in your full, untouchable, composed power. So the next time you find yourself in her orbit, remember this. Be calm. Be steady. Be emotionally distant, but not cold. And above all, never let her see that you need anything from her. Because that's when she starts chasing you, relentlessly. If you've found value in this, subscribe. Stay tuned for more insights that'll change the way you understand attraction. This is Marble Masculinity. Stay disciplined. Stay powerful. Stay in control.